If you've done any amount of wheat-free baking, you'll know that flours that don't have wheat in them, and especially those that don't have gluten in them, tend to make cakes and cookies fall as flat as pancakes. They don't make them rise at all. So today I'm going to show you how to make your own self-rising flour. And this works in varying degrees depending on the type of flour that you use. If you are allowed to have gluten, then I would recommend using rye flour for this. I found this one to be the best overall flour for using with baking. It has a pleasant flavour, it's not quite as bad for you as wheat flour, and it has a tiny bit of gluten in it as well, so it will rise that much better. If you can't have any gluten, then I really recommend using coconut flour. This is my absolute new favourite. You can buy this from the site, from macola.com. It's fantastic stuff. It gives cakes a beautiful flavour, and it does actually rise quite well, and it holds together quite nicely as opposed to some of the other wheat-free flours like soy flour, and even oat flour doesn't hold together as well as others. So basically what you're going to need to make self-rising flour, it's very complicated. You need your flour, and you're going to need salt and aluminum-free baking powder. Now basically what you're going to be doing when you add the flour to the recipe, at the same time as you add the flour, you will also be adding the salt and the baking powder. And these two you will be adding in addition to any salt or baking powder that the recipe already states. So for every cup of flour that you use, regardless of the flour, you will be adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that is for every cup of flour that you use. So if you add the extra ingredients in those proportions, it will help the cake not only bind together a bit better, but it will help it to rise a bit better as well, especially if your flour does have a little bit of gluten in it, like rye flour does. So there you go. There's a very simple way for you to improve the cakes and cookies that you're already making by making them just a little bit fluffier and rising just a little